time from his job because he was showing signs of anxiety over his research. The man then visited relatives near the border, but without carrying valid travel documents, and when he learned that the authorities were looking for him, he simply disappeared. And during his time of capture in China, the man, for some reason, he never told the Chinese official about his job, which was a major error, according to a lot of folks. And if the Chinese government had known who he was, possibly, they would have wanted to learn what he knew and would have sent him back. They wouldn't have sent him back. They would have kept him. But they say he must have been searched many times while being taken from China, so it's a mystery as to how he was able to conceal the poison he took. Well, he was a scientist. And there's crevices. You just imagine where he could probably have put it. And maybe he had one of those fake teeth in his mouth. And that if you bit down on it, you see those movies, that stuff's true. It's a possibility. It's just a further revelation for me for things that already the pundits have talked about and we've talked about for long on this broadcast, is that China fears of the migration of more into their country. They don't want North Koreans heading into China. They will ship them back as quickly as they come in and do not care if they die. Could care less about the treatment of what they endure. And they're still selling oil to North Korea. They've been busted. Clearly cannot rely on the Chinese to help us, and they could be a huge broker in stopping this nonsense from the North. And if China, you know what? China is the one that's going to put us into war. And they're going to reap the worst of it, because not only could they get possible fallout from chemical and biological, but they will get an influx of a lot of North Koreans that will be heading over, because once war breaks out, they're going to get tens of thousands, if not millions of people bailing going into China. So good luck. They could have come up real heroes, but instead they're deciding to go against what the UN told them not to do. There's satellite imaging that appeared this past week showing them doing business with them out to sea, giving them the oil that we told them not to give them. It blatantly goes against the mandates, but this is not a shocker. By the way, Chicago's mayor, we had mentioned early in the show about the over 700 that died this past year in Chicago, but still blatantly just disregards everything that's happening with Donald Trump, with, wanting to crack down on sanctuary cities and all that other stuff. Decides he wants to go ahead and sound off, as crazy as he is, and another Obama guy. But the rhetoric of opposing Trump as the city's problems are festering even more. But this is more of his rhetoric. This is what he had to say earlier this week.
I was just taking a breath, friend. I was going to tell you why, but now that you asked, I'm not going to answer that, okay? So here's the thing. Because it's not about we're going through a process of reinvigorating community policing. Building trust between relationships in the community and law enforcement. It's antithetical to the spirit of what community policing is.
What the hell are you talking about?
There is no stranger among us. We welcome people, whether you're from Poland or Pakistan, whether you're from Ireland or India or Israel, and whether you're from Mexico or Moldova, where my grandfather came from.
Sounds like
you are welcomed in Chicago.
Oh, good.
As you pursue the American dream.
Illegal. This is the way that the left loves to carve out the big mixing bowl experiment that we were taught in school. As if that's all they're doing is allowing these folks to come over and live in their city. What could be possibly wrong with foreigners coming in from other countries to be able to live there and be able to start businesses and go to school, raise their kids like you and I? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it is they're harboring criminals. These people are selling drugs. These people are illegals and never intend to become legals in our country. What a moron. Now, Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, he had a good year, but sadly at the expense of residents in Chicago. And because Trump has threatened the feds to come in, and they will, Chicago's under siege. There's more deaths there than L.A. and New York combined, over 767 murders in 2016. It's on the rise. It's an epidemic, and that's all this guy has to say is he wants to harbor, and he wants to remain, in his words, and he says it will always be a sanctuary city, which means it will always be an unsafe city under the left-leaning loons, bleeding hearts, that think they're doing a good thing by giving safe harbor to these folks that mean ill will towards our citizens. There's nothing worse than having a bleeding heart liberal in the cities, because you can see it all over our country. Look at Baltimore. Look at Washington, D.C. You see where every liberal is, you can see the disintegration of something good that could happen. But they allow the insanity, they allow bloodshed, they allow more people to die, and innocent people, unfortunately, losing their lives because of those policies. Thank God we have a Donald Trump. The feds are coming, folks. They're coming, and there's a new sheriff in town, folks, and we'll be hearing a lot more of that in 2018, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us for the weekend edition. Your support is more important than ever. If you'd like to make a donation, it's forthepeopleshow.com. Please let your friends and neighbors know about our show. For the People, I'm Keith Allen. All the best. May God bless.